This episode of Internet Today is brought to you by Vincero.
First of all, it's too hot right now. We both just spent most of our entire days trying to ignore the fact that it was around 106 degrees by putting wet towels into freezers, taking lukewarm showers and standing in front of fans, and just generally being miserable.
Yep.
The heat wave has gone on for about a week now, and it looks like the weather won't even get down into the mid-90s until maybe this weekend. So if we seem a bit sweaty, tired, or the videos are slightly shorter than usual, we send our deepest apologies, but this sucks.
Yeah, and by the weekend, the fires
will have consumed us all.
They should really be in full force by then.
Yeah.
Anyway, to answer your question, no, we can't just buy more air conditioning for our apartments or this studio that we film in. It's not that easy, and also standard AC just doesn't really work all that great in 106 degree weather. It's like, it's like standing in front of a tidal wave with a cardboard box shield.
Yeah.
Like, I'm safe. No. Yeah. Anyways, another somewhat unbearable thing that's going on right now is the Democratic National Convention, which is, of course, taking place mostly through live video feeds and pre-recorded speeches and very weird little music videos.
A lot of the big, like ABC News and stuff cut away before the finale of the first night, and it was like, well, they should have shown this in all of its weird glory.
Yeah.
This is some art.
It's definitely a strange one this year for more reasons than, just that. It seems mostly like the Democrats are completely fine with people like John Kasich and Colin Powell delivering speeches.
Yeah.
And we understand Trump sucks, and you should take support from wherever you can. But I don't know. It doesn't look good for the party overall to give the people responsible for all of the conditions that led to Trump and for everything that the Democratic Party was against for the last 2 decades to be the ones that have a platform at the Democratic National Convention.
We all love Colin Powell, don't we, folks?
Yeah, these people's entire worldview and voting records do not align at all with what you would want from this party, hopefully.
I do have to give it to John Kasich, literally standing on a crossroads in his fucking video. You couldn't be more on the nose.
Having the fucking gall to stand there and be like, AOC doesn't represent this party. Me, John Kasich, former Republican governor, staunch anti-abortion advocate. Yes. I'm the person that represents this party now.
Yeah, and
Fuck
also,
off.
AOC, by the direction of the Democratic Party, voting for Bernie Sanders, and then NBC taking that and being like, you see?
Yeah.
She's an outlier. She's crazy.
So, in case some of you are still just stinking mad that AOC would be so divisive and nominate Bernie Sanders when Joe Biden has already clinched it, the way these things work and have always worked is that any of the primary candidates who reach the threshold of votes to be, even just formally acknowledged at the convention actually are formally acknowledged. And in this case, it was AOC and then the head of some union.
Yes.
But people lost their fucking minds.
Because NBC sent out a news article that bashed her for doing it, even though it was not only pre-planned by the Democratic Party, the information was sent to news outlets hours before this was supposed to take place. So they were well aware of exactly what they were doing by putting this incendiary headline out there. Yeah. And they rightfully got called out for it and deleted it.
Like 4 hours later.
Yeah, too little, too late. It was just such a mess. Such a mess. And then Bill Clinton comes out on stage and it's just like, look, not the time. Like, please, just, what is going on here?
Yeah, Bill Clinton, who just had photographs released of him getting a massage from a pretty much confirmed Epstein victim. Yeah. Maybe not the family we want to associate ourselves with at this point.
Now, she was 21 or 22 at the time.
Oh.
There's so many excuses, but it's just like, but why? Why even bring it, like, this man was president 25 years ago. Yeah. Like, just leave it alone. His wife just lost to Donald Trump, of all people. Yeah. Come on. I think we can do without this.
Yeah, I think so.
The posturing to the potential right-wing voters for this whole thing was a bit much.
They're going to get all of, 10 votes.
But, hey.
Thanks to just basically accepting the 1996 Republican National Convention platforms. Great job.
Yes.
Love to be here.
Look, the DNC is pretty much over by the time this video goes up. Joe Biden has already accepted the nomination for the party, and we can all move on and look forward from this boring procedural event towards an absolute fucking circus.
The one that's fun to watch.
Yeah, but here's the thing, is like...
The Republican National Convention, baby.
It feels like we're really it feels like we're, for some reason, not supporting the Democratic ticket. We are. It's fine.
Yeah,
but,
I just don't support the finer points about really any of it.
And when I say that I'm excited,
vote for Joe Biden.
When I say that I'm excited for the Republican National Convention, it's not because I'm excited to hear what they have to say and agree with their viewpoints.
No,
it's because it's a fucking circus.
It's a freak show.
Yes,
it was the same in 2016. The DNC, boring.
Yeah,
the RNC was fucking nuts. They were just trotting out like
Scott Baio,
a cavalcade of like D-list, just failed celebrities.
Oh yeah, and by the way, like was Marco Rubio this week was like, I can't believe they're bringing out celebrities to the DNC. And it's like, bitch, you had fucking Scott Baio. And before that, you had, what's his name? Clint Eastwood talking to an empty chair.
Republicans love, and I feel the same way. I think it's kind of pointless and out of touch for Democrats to, be trotting out celebrities and using them as mouthpieces and shit. But Republicans love to criticize that. And then the second a James Woods or a Angelina Jolie's dad or a Scott Baio is on their side, they can't get enough of it.
Well, that's what we have to look forward to. Maybe Scott Baio's going to show up. Maybe Drew Brees will show up this time. We don't know. Tom Brady, Diamond and Silk. Diamond
and Silk has beef with Fox News, though.
Yeah, they're currently in an argument.
Well,
they're pro-grifters, too.
Yeah.
So they're kind of spinning this in anticipation for a Trump loss, potentially. Although they're being safe about it. Yeah. They haven't struck just yet, but Diamond and Silk, they're on like the crossing the line of whether
Trump
or not...
If Trump loses, Diamond and Silk is going to sue Fox News for racial discrimination. And it's going to be a cat fight.
You're going to look forward to it. Anyways, the RNC. Where literally anything can happen. It's coming next week, ladies and gentlemen. And despite efforts to have a large public event in the midst of a pandemic, the Republican National Convention will also mostly be a virtual event with streams and pre-recorded videos.
Sounds so cucked.
It is kind of sad because you really get a feel for these guys when they're going off the cuff, doing it improv style.
Trump needs a big crowd.
Yes. Any of these people that represent the Republican National Committee, they need to feed off the crowd because that's what gets them in that zone where they'll say anything.
It's like watching like stand-up over Zoom. A lot of comedy clubs have been doing that, and it's like, it's just not the same.
Did you hear about Bill Burr doing a set over the weekend, like for a drive-in? And he started like doing one of his bits, like where he loosely making fun of women, and this lady stuck her head out of the car and yelled at him, honked, and then drove away. He was like, I've never been so embarrassed. Someone drove away from my comedy set.
That's great.
Anyways, yes, they have to feed off of people. Otherwise, you don't get those magic moments.
Yeah.
But there are still a few things that could surprise us all. Like the fact that the crazy gun couple from St. Louis, the McCloskys, who stood on their lawn to defend it with a little pea shooter and an assault rifle.
An assault rifle was just sweeping.
Yeah.
Just, me and my wife here.
Yeah. And she's just got her little, I love that, like, the most dominant way to hold a little gun is like this.
I hope they come out in the exact same clothes they were wearing.
I think that they will. Yeah, like, hey, can you guys put the clothes on that you wore?
You might not recognize them at first glance.
No. It would be
It's an iconic look. They
Who
got
are
drip.
These people? Yeah, exactly.
The stripes, the salmon, the tucked-in pleated white pants.
If only there wasn't a pandemic, this would have been a great couple's costume for Halloween.
Bring them out with T-shirt guns.
T-shirt cannons. Boom! It's a Trump shirt for the crowd. Anyways, they've been invited to speak at the RNC, and I'm sure whatever they have to say will no doubt go down in the history books.
Yeah. Now, this isn't the first time that the McCloskys have been invited to speak since the incident. Back in July, they were interviewed by Donald Trump Jr.'s girlfriend for a virtual campaign rally where Mark McCloskey stated, "I thought that within seconds we'd be overrun. They'd be in the house. They'd be setting fires. They'd be killing us."
If you've seen the inside of this guy's house, I don't think it can actually catch fire because I think it's 100% marble.
Yeah, also it would take more than a few minutes. It's a big place.
It's a huge place.
So yeah, we simply cannot wait to see what other incendiary things they could possibly have to say when they take the virtual stage at the RNC.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Republican Party, though, it looks as though right-wing grifter and character, we haven't talked about her in a while.
Weekly weird character, yeah.
Recurring character. She has won, if you didn't know, she was running for Congress, and she has won her House primary in Florida.
And her name is Laura Loomer.
Yeah, if you need a quick refresher on who Laura Loomer is, well, she was the one who handcuffed herself to Twitter HQ in New York City while wearing a yellow Star of David and claiming that Twitter was anti-Semitic because they had banned her account. And before that, she was there right alongside Alex Jones at Jack Dorsey's congressional hearings, just shouting at him, "When am I going to get my check mark back? Because she was verified originally, but they took away her verification.
The right has a whole thing called loomering now because of what she does. She just
running
yells
up to people and being a fucking lunatic.
Yeah, just screams at people. So with the Twitter HQ thing, she refused to leave the property until she was unbanned. But it turned out that no one at Twitter actually cared about her stunt or about her as a person.
It was like a double set of doors. So just like, we'll just go through the other door.
They pretty much ignored her, which is the opposite of what she actually wanted. Now, in her mind, she would have been carried off by police as some sort of political prisoner. Instead, since Twitter didn't care and didn't even want to press any charges, the police simply erected a barricade around her to protect her from people, and then told her that she could stay as long as she wanted. And then they left her there until she got bored enough and wanted to leave. She told police that she would pee herself if she needed to. They still didn't care, but finally she said it was getting too cold out, so she asked police to cut her handcuffs so she could leave and presumably just limp away with a scarred ego. Loomer is also the woman who traveled to Minneapolis with Jacob Wall to somehow prove that it was an Islamic hellhole. And if you'll recall, this was also the trip where Jacob Wall filed a police report for death threats that he sent to himself.
So, what's going on with that? It's been like a year and a half since.
Coronavirus. You can't really do anything in the courtrooms these days, so everyone kind of got off scot-free. All the people who fucked around and did potentially illegal stuff before this, they're just like, all right, look.
Yeah.
Just say you learned your lesson, okay?
Yeah, Loomer also, she previously got banned from Uber and Lyft for just being straight up Islamophobic
no Islamic
Twitter.
Drivers, please.
Yeah, just like yelling on Twitter under a verified account about how it's anti-Semitic that they hire Muslim drivers.
She said, I hope there's more where that came from when talking about dying refugees.
Yeah.
Just all around,
a bad person.
The type of person you would want to represent a portion of a state inside the United States, right? Also, I'm pretty sure, I couldn't find any verified reports of this when I glanced over it, but I'm pretty sure she moved to Florida to run.
Yeah.
And she wasn't a resident there before. So literally it was just like, where's the craziest place I could move to that would elect me?
Yeah, I mean, it's the K.W. Miller strategy.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think he's from Florida. So anyway, that Laura Loomer, that woman just won her primary in Florida for the district that represents, among other things, Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort.
Perfect.
Which means she will be on the ballot in November to face off against incumbent Democratic candidate Lois Frankel. At her victory party after the results poured in, she appeared alongside none other than Roger Stone, Milo Yiannopoulos, and Gavin McInnes. What year is it? 2017?
Well, like, it's like playing the greatest hits. You show up and it's like, oh my God, what is Journey gonna play? No, she gets Roger Stone, Milo Yiannopoulos.
Was Pepe there?
Yeah. Special with Pepe. The dog with the room on fire was also there.
That's so funny. They say, like, deplatforming doesn't work, but I haven't thought about any of these fucking people in so goddamn long.
Yeah. Well, Roger Stone was in the news recently because he got pardoned by Donald Trump.
Yeah.
But, whatever.
Anyways, for his part, Donald Trump himself tweeted out his congratulations and support, saying, "Great going, Laura. You have a great chance against a Pelosi puppet."
Also, she was endorsed by none other than Matt Gaetz.
Yep.
And there's a wonderful...
Frankenstein himself.
There's a wonderful picture of them, I believe, photoshopped together. I don't know if they've met or not, but it looks like...
He's just so dead in the eyes, or has double pink eye. I can't tell, but
yeah.
What a strange-looking man. He's like, these Republicans... All right, I'm not going to... No, it's not just Republicans, but for some reason, a lot of these Republicans who get young success, because Matt Gaetz is like 38, they have this weird characteristic where they're simultaneously old men and little boys.
Like Stephen Miller?
Yeah, Stephen Miller, Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
Like they have like an equal mix of little boy characteristics and like shriveled up old man.
Well, Stephen Miller just looks old as fuck. He's, by the way, we've already seen this before.
Same age.
He's younger than us.
I think I'm the same age as Stephen Miller.
Yeah.
Which I look probably a little older than I actually do.
Yeah.
He looks very old.
Yes. Anyway, speaking of Trump, he's certainly been on one ever since the start of the Democratic National Convention. But to be fair, he's always been a bit unhinged on Twitter. This isn't out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
Earlier today, he launched an attack on Goodyear Tires, which is the only large tire maker that manufactures and is based right here in the United States. And based in a swing state of Ohio, where it employs like 80,000 people. So great job on that. And
they also have a blimp.
A very cool
One
blimp.
of the last companies to have their own blimp.
Listen, if your company doesn't have a dirigible, I am not buying anything from it. Also, very ironic here, Goodyear, they make the bulletproof tires that are used on the presidential state car, a.k.a. the Beast. Yeah. So, very strange all around. But aside from that, Trump also tweeted out earlier this week his support for the post office, saying, save the post office, which is just infuriating and confusing because he and his administration are the ones actively trying to harm this profoundly important public service in order to stop mail-in voting. It's all just so exhausting, but that's also the point.
It was one of the best uses of the Eric Andre gun meme where it's Donald Trump is Eric Andre, he shoots Hannibal Buress, which is the USPS, and then turns to the camera and says, and that's just the tweet, save the post office.
But also, the Postmaster General who was installed by Trump, he's like a millionaire who had absolutely no experience with the post office
blatantly put in his position to kill the USPS.
So he came out after people protested at his home, and the House Committee was like, okay, we're going to come back from recess to actually fix this or try to fix it. He's like, all right, you got me. No further changes to the post office after they've already dismantled a ton of mail sorting machines and removed apparently a large amount of the blue boxes that are typically put around places.
Yeah.
And a lot of argument online too. People like, well, it was kind of insufficient. And it's like, oh, really? Well, why is it happening right now all of a sudden, right before what would potentially be the biggest and greatest use for those boxes?
Generally, when a public service is not doing as good of a job as you want it to, you don't take even more of its resources away from it.
Yeah.
Because it's only going to get worse.
And
which is the whole fucking point.
Yes. There's a whole lot more to go into this. I mean, just watch the John Oliver thing, but the biggest thing that ever hurt the post office was however many years ago, was over a decade ago, where they had to front load all of their retirement benefits like 75 years into the future. Mm-hmm. People who aren't even born yet, they had to pay in advance the retirement benefits for them, like billions upon billions of dollars.
Yeah, very, it's unheard of. No one else has to do this. But anyways. We do have some non-political news, we swear.
Yeah, Scout's honor.
I mean, it is an election year, so
there's
deal with it,
It's hard to ignore the stuff that's going on.
Anyways, we'll get to that right after we thank today's sponsor, our old friends at Vincero Watches. Mm-hmm. Finding a watch that is stylish, bold, and built to last can cost a pretty penny. Vincero Watches is changing that, though. They believe you deserve to look good no matter your budget. If you're looking to upgrade your look, don't waste money on a cheap cookie-cutter watch that doesn't get you noticed. Arrive in style with any number of Vincero watches available directly from their website.
Yeah, I had my Vincero watch on at my wedding, by God, and everyone was saying, wow, that looks great.
I was so distracted by the watch.
I couldn't even hear the vows. Right now, Vincero is running a site-wide sale to celebrate its 6th anniversary. It's the biggest sale they've ever done, with discounts of up to 30% off. And in addition to that, Vincero has released 4 new collections for men this year, including an automatic movement watch called the Icon, a rugged explorer watch called the Outrider, a sleek race watch called the Apex, and you got to check out their limited edition automatic marble release. They're only making 600 of them, and after that, they're gone for good. So head to vincerowatches.com/todaysale, or just click the link down in the description below, and you'll be able to take advantage of Vincero's biggest sale ever and enjoy up to 30% off your entire order. That is vincerowatches.com/todaysale, or click the link down in the description below. Thanks for sponsoring our show. Now let's get back into the news with a little update on a story that we've been covering for the past few weeks.
Yeah, so it turns out our visual estimates of the Sturgis motorcycle rally attendance were way off. We were like, they said it was half, 250,000 compared to the usual 500,000, but I don't know. Doesn't look like nearly that.
Yeah.
But a hell of a lot more people ended up turning out for the event than even the coordinators and city predicted. The original estimate was around 250,000 people would be there. We monitored and reported on the whole damn thing because we were so intrigued that a potential super spreader event was happening with little to no regard for the safety and well-being of its local workers, nor the people who actually chose to attend. But based on what we saw from various webcams, we thought it would turn out to be a much lower number than the predictions stated.
It didn't seem like anyone was there, even on the biggest nights.
It did not look that crowded.
Even for the biggest bands. Smash Mouth and Trapped.
Yeah. Well, folks, we can't get them all right. Turns out the number of people in attendance was upwards of 500,000 over the course of 10 days.
Yeah. I mean, we're usually dead on about this stuff. Man, what a random and out-of-the-ordinary failure for us. According to a count from South Dakota transportation officials, this year's rally drew more than 460,000 vehicles. And listen, Some of the bitches fell off, some didn't. So there could be 2 people on those vehicles.
Yeah.
Quote, the count represents a decrease of nearly 8% from last year, but showed that many were undeterred by the coronavirus pandemic. And it should probably come as no surprise that, yep, it's already been confirmed that someone in attendance had the virus and was probably spreading it around to anyone they came in contact with, which was a lot of people based on their activity that was confirmed through contact tracing.
Yeah.
And that means that the people who potentially got it from this person would have continued to spread it to others, and so on, and so forth.
From local outlet The Argus Leader, quote, authorities say a patron of a bar in downtown Sturgis has tested positive for COVID-19 and was able to transmit the virus while attending the Sturgis rally. A person who later tested positive for COVID-19 was at the One-Eyed Jack Saloon from noon to 5:30 p.m.
Noon to 5. They were at this bar for 5.5 hours, just hanging out,
and like
having a few drinks.
This is like the one of the biggest bars there, like one of the central hubs of.
Yeah, it would not be a stretch of the imagination that thousands of people cross paths with this person.
Yeah, it continues. Due to the risk of exposure, individuals that visited the businesses during the specified dates and times should monitor for symptoms for 14 days after they visited, the health department said in a news release. And this is just the first reported case, just a few days since the rally ended.
Yeah.
I think I saw they're aware of other potential ones, but
we're keeping an eye on it.
Yeah. So here we go.
Yeah, and it should be noted again as well that it sometimes takes between 5 and 15 days for symptoms to appear. And also, the fact that this person got tested and was shown positive, as we've said before, there's probably a hell of a lot more because people, specifically people in schools and people who go to these types of events, probably wouldn't necessarily get tested unless their job required it or they were actually showing symptoms.
Yeah.
So, look, we honestly legitimately hope that this event doesn't cause a surge in cases locally and around the country. We don't cheer this on by any stretch of the imagination. No. We just look with gasped breaths, just like, why is this happening? What is going on? But reality says probably not going to be the case. It probably will become somewhat of a spreader event.
Yeah.
And look, just to visualize how something like this could potentially spread, the company that used cell phone data to show how spring breakers who visited Florida during the early days of the pandemic before returning back home or back to college campuses, they've analyzed and visualized the same data from Sturgis attendees. And that's what you're looking at right now. This data also excludes cell phone data that was consistent in the area before the rally. So it almost entirely shows people traveling from all parts of the nation and then descending upon this one location in South Dakota. The company plans to show migration patterns locally during the event, so we'll see just how many people went in and out of the One-Eyed Jack Saloon on that day. And then they'll also show data that shows the attendees heading back home as well, although you could just put the first video in reverse and see exactly how it's going to look. But it's people from all over the country just going zoom and then broop.
It's ride and die, baby.
Heading down to the buffet and then heading back to the table.
Yep.
Exactly.
Do a little tasters while I'm there. Mm-hmm. Anyway, let's go out on a high note today, because after months of being beaten into the earth by video after video of Karens screaming at essential workers over mask policy, or screaming at minorities over barbecues, or selling water, or literally just existing, we'd grown quite tired of seeing the same things over and over again. I mean, we get it. You don't like wearing your mask, lady. You think either you have a medical condition that prevents it, or you think the mask is making you sick, or that it's choking you to death. Well, thankfully, there's a drunk Karen that was filmed just being drunk in a drive-thru parking lot.
A nice, refreshing breath of fresh air.
Yeah, classic drunk Karen. And while the video is truly entertaining, we should also point out that it's very clear that she was the one operating the vehicle that's blocking the other customers in line for some late-night food.
So it's not all not all fun here.
She's putting people's lives at risk here.
Many people's lives at risk, including her own and anyone that was on the road that night.
Yeah.
Because she is tanked.
Yeah. Anyways, she gets into an argument with the people behind her, and she doesn't really get to make too much of any point because she's completely blasted. Nah. There's a lot to unpack here. Let's just show you the video.
It's why. It's why.
Oh my God, dude.
You laughing now? Keep fucking laughing, bro. You want to know why? You want to know fucking why? Oh my God, keep fucking laughing. Because you black bitch You fucking black. You black hanging out with rich white kids. And that's your problem. And that's your problem. Oh, nah, fucking nah. That is your motherfucking problem. That fuck you. Oh, I'm getting you pissed out. I'm getting you fucking pissed out. Because that is your fucking shit. I'm getting you fucking pissed out. Oh, I ain't checking shit out, bro. I ain't checking shit out, bro. I ain't checking fucking shit out. Nah. Nah fucking nah. And what's so good is you ignorant white fucks. You little millennials sitting here videotaping my ass.
How old are you?
Oh my god. You're so, you little millennial. Oh my god. Nah. You fucking millennials is the best thing that just hit the fucking joint, dude. Fuck you. And fuck you. And the fact that he eats it. Crikey. Look at his feces right here. He's got you all twisted. That's the great thing. He's no bunny. That's the great thing, is that he's got you all twisted.
No, listen, ma'am. If the cops come, we all fucked right now. So why don't we just get in the car and calm down?
Oh, ain't no cops coming from this shit.
You out here yelling with your titties halfway out?
Oh, you have everybody twisted and sitting.
You smell like twisted cheese. Like, calm down. Like, you out here drunk.
You have everyone twisted on everything that you have to spare out.
Yeah.
So good for you.
Ready?
So good for you. So good for you.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, the quote, "you fucking millennials is the best thing that just hit the fucking joint, dude," is is fantastic. Also, there's a couple quotes.
Don't get it twisted.
She literally leans into like what she's saying and almost stumbles over. But the best, when she says "don't get it twisted," and that dude immediately snaps back.
You smell like twisted tea.
I love it. Mm-hmm. It's the happiest I've been watching a quote-unquote Karen video in a long time, because usually it's just like...
I mean, I don't even know if it qualifies as a Karen video because they successly de-escalate it by complimenting her fine-ass titties.
Yeah, take your fine-ass titties back to the car.
So that, no police were called, although they should have arguably been called. I mean, in a situation like this, there's a 50-50 chance the cops show up and just shoot the people she was talking to.
Yeah, they were worried about that in the video. They were like, "Listen, the cops are going to be here, and we're all going to be in trouble."
Yeah, but she was driving drunk.
Yeah, and when you say de-escalated, it's the title of the video on Reddit is "The Karen Whisperer."
Yeah,
so it's a pretty apt title.
So that's the next time you're dealing with a Karen, just compliment her physique.
Wow, you look great.
Yeah.
They love it.
They love it.
Apparently. There's no scientific research behind this, but it did seem to de-escalate this Karen in particular.
Listen, Karen, I hear you, I see you, and damn, you were fine as hell. What were we even arguing about there?
I don't want to wear my mask. Listen, I think I can speak for everyone in the grocery store.
I hate that you have to cover up that beautiful face of yours.
You're such an attractive older woman. It's a real shame that you have to cover up that face, but for the rest of our healths, why don't you cover up just for a bit? And then maybe we can go get a drink afterwards.
Let me get another look at that. Yeah, that's a good looking face. Hey, give me a full 360. Yep.
It's a shame you got to cover up that body, too.
Listen, you'd be covering up that face with the mask, but there's still plenty for me to look at. Even with the mask on.
Don't take our advice.
You got a fine old ass, lady.
We're making fun of people, not saying that you should do this.
No, you should.
But, yeah.
It works.
Listen, you fucking millennials is the best thing that ever hit the fucking joint, dude. That's all I got to say.
Nah.
We got to give her credit for coming up with that quote. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, her misfiring neurons for coming off with that quote.
Yeah, it's you can literally watch neurons misfiring live because she tries to say complete coherent sentences. It just doesn't work.
It's like taking like a speak and spell and just slamming it on the ground and then press and play. You got the fucking joint, dude. Nah.
No wedding ring on that finger, though, fellas. Anyways, watch our other episodes over here. We have a new episode of Weekly Weird News and another episode of News Dump. We'll be back soon for Tech News Day, and of course, more episodes to come. We'll see you soon.
Bye.